Okay, sir. Is there any other guys having MATLAB software? So no, I just want to know who are using that. So you should have the idea about MATLAB. That's why I'm just asking. Hello, sir. Hello. Okay. What about others? Actually, I'm not getting the reply. Please tell me something. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
What about others? If I'm audible, please reply me.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, I know I'm audible. Just reply me. Did you have MATLAB?
Yes, sir, actually, we have a MATLAB in our institute, but due to the lockdowns, we are actually unable to go there. That is the problem.
No, I'm just asking if I give some work to you, can you do that?
Actually, sir, we are very much conversant with the MATLAB. We don't have any problems in the MATLAB.
No, in this session, actually, we will be dealing with the different kinds of simulation. So if there is any work or something like that, can you do that? I'm just asking that.
So the problem is we don't have laptop. Sorry, we don't have a MATLAB in our laptop, but it is available in college. The next 2 days are holidays, so even if you give any work, you may be able to do it on Thursday.
Okay, sir. So I'm sharing my screen, sir. So we will start now. Okay, anyway. Okay, there are normally four kinds of electric vehicle. Actually, in that case, we can just classify into different types of electric vehicle. Like, have you heard about hybrid system, hybrid electric vehicle? Any of you?
Yes, sir. It's 50% fossil fuel fired and 50% electrically powered.
Yeah, that's it. Both combiningly mechanical or IC engine and also electric engine will be combiningly used for transmitting the power. So that kind of vehicle can be called as hybrid system, hybrid electric vehicle system. So in case of hybrid, actually there are different mode can be achieved in case of hybrid electric vehicle system. So it depends on that. We can again classify hybrid electric vehicle into different parts. So like normally, it will say like full hybrid electric vehicle. So full hybrid electric vehicle, which means it will be having a IC engine and also a mechanical engine. Sorry, an electrical engine. So electrical engine will be uh, will be will be will be drive with the electrical power, which is actually stored in a battery or any other kind of devices. So we will discuss about that kind of devices and also the conversion part, everything. So I will do that after. So that's actually about electric engine part. Now when we are going with the mechanical engine, so mechanical engine, the fuel will supplied with any kind of fossil fuel like a petrol, diesel, and something like that. So energy will be transferred to the engine, then engine delivers the output to the tires. So that's actually happening. So in case of full hybrid electric vehicle, there are two variants, like a series hybrid and also parallel hybrid. And the series, what is series and parallel. So in case of series mode, actually there will be two engine which will be supplying the power. But in case of series, first of all, one of the engine will be in a working condition to deliver the power to the tire. So both the engine will not directly connect with the tires to transmit the power. So that's actually series mode. So for example, if you are just taking okay, just take a car, a hybrid electric vehicle car, it having a mechanical engine as well as electrical engine. So mechanical engine actually delivers the power to another generator, electrical generator. So what is actually happening? Fossil fuels energy will be utilized to generate a mechanical power. Then mechanical power again converted to electrical power by using another kind of generator or alternator, anything. So after converting to electrical power, so we got extra electrical power from the generator, and also we have another electrical power from the battery. So both the energy can be utilized to run an electric engine. So that's actually series mode. In case of parallel mode, how it is actually acting, it having both the mechanical and also as well as electrical part. So both will be supplying energy parallelly to the tires. So then one more thing, there will be a question: why we are just doing such a thing in hybrid models? Actually, with respect to the studies of traction or studies of drive, uh, for the comfort and also for the situation handling, yeah, electrical engine and also mechanical engine have different cara. So if you differentiate both engines, there will be something will be missing. So for compensating such a thing, for getting maximum comfort and maximum efficiency from the car, you will be using both the hybrid system, both the electrical and the mechanical engine together. So according to the road, according to the transport system, depends on that we will just design what kind of vehicle will be suitable. It's just example when you take an consider an area like India and also America. So when you compare both areas, there will be something dissimilarity will be there. So according to that, we have to design our vehicle. So like that we have to design. So when you are just choosing such a system, series mode and parallel mode, different kinds of configuration should be have to be considered. So that's actually about a full hybrid electric vehicle. So when you go with the mild hybrid electric vehicle, it's only having parallel mode of operation, which means I told you will be will be used in a particular situation according to road or what kind it is. So that's actually mild hybrid electric vehicle. So parallel kind of operation only will be possible with the mild hybrid electric vehicle system. So when you are going with a plug-in hybrid, it's actually exactly same like a full hybrid electric vehicle. But in case of plug-in hybrid, it have some more benefits actually. So because in case of plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, not only mechanically, electrically, so we actually mechanical engine as well as the electrical engine can isolately perform. So in a single time, single engine can deliver power to the motor like the tires. In case of mechanical like electrical engine also can directly the power to the tires. So both engine can work separately, isolately can work. So if you have something deficiency in some fuel, you can use any other engine separately. That's actually plug-in hybrid. So that one of the problem also there. Actually, if you are using a battery engine, like a electric engine, we have to consider uh, the time of discharge, because actually when you are isolately operating that like a electric engine, it will be using like a more energy from the battery. So the capacity of battery should be increased according to the engine we are using. So that's it. Now in case we have to start with this kind of engine, like this kind of classify like one of the classification like battery electric vehicle. Yeah, we are just going with the battery electric vehicle because we have to know the system, because you have to know the inside factors of battery electric vehicle. So we will start with battery electric vehicle. So battery electric vehicle only contain the name itself telling that actually it is having a battery energy source, and it will deliver the power to the motors. That's it. So those are the different kinds of classification in case of electric vehicle system actually available in market right now. So different kinds of models already launched, Tesla, and also different other companies are also approaching towards electric vehicle. So like Tata Motors and also like a different kinds of companies. So that's it. Okay. So is there anything to share in this classification? Any of you? Any of you anything to share? Okay. So we are moving towards main components inside a battery electric vehicle. So I told you we'll start the simulation with the basic battery electric vehicle system. Then we'll step into mechanical part. We'll get into a completely mechanical part and also electrical part. We'll make a combination in simulation after. So that's it. So just look into this. Uh, these are the inside system. Nothing actually. Energy storage system will be there. Then traction, energy delivering, like mechanical energy delivering conversion system will be there. And also for transmitting the energy, something we have to keep something there, intermediate between that battery and motors. So those kind of system also will be there. So that's actually the inside components of an electric vehicle, of an battery electric vehicle. So let's discuss about battery pack first. So it mostly will be we will be using 400 to 800 voltage battery, because actually And can you just say why we are just using 400 to 800 voltage battery there? Any of you? Mostly in case of all kind of electrical vehicle, we will be using 400 to 800 voltage battery. So what will be the reason why we are choosing 400 to 800 voltage battery there? Can you respond? That will be one of the reason actually. Yeah, when we increase the value of voltage, we can reduce the value of current. I think you know that already. So that will be the reason. Like we'll be mostly using 400 to 800 voltage batteries in. Yeah, that is one of the reason. Okay. So okay. Anyway, going to make traction inverter. So going to actually you may heard about different kinds of motors will be used inside electric vehicle according to its SCARA. Mostly you may heard about PMSM, BLDC, and also DC motors. Everything can be used there because of actually having a particular cara kind of cara. So we will discuss about that after. So traction inverter, if we are using a AC motor, we have to go for any whatever the type of motor. We have to use the driver system for that. So the traction inverter is actually the driver for the motor. So it should be around. It should be the value. It should be around 100 kilowatt. Depends on the size of the motor. Then traction motor. So we will discuss about that. Now about onboard charger. So we have to discuss something about onboard charger after. Different kinds of technologies already related with the onboard charger. Now DC-DC converter. Actually, in case of electric vehicle, just look into IEEE papers. Actually, there are different kinds of paper, like different kinds of concept inside, for transmitting the power from the battery to the motor, and also for charging the battery, and to the battery to the grid to the battery. I told you different kinds of technologies are attached to it. So, in case of DC-DC converter, different kinds of converter also has being in design. So we will discuss about that. Now going for battery management system. So there are different cells will be used inside a electric vehicle. Parallelly and series connected cells will be there. So according to the configuration, according to the load usage and all, actually battery is just battery is just like a nonlinear device, So we actually for controlling the battery efficiently, we have to use different kinds of battery management systems here. So we will discuss about that too. So I think you got all the overview about the okay. So when we are going for energy storage part, you already know this. Battery will be the most really used component there, and hydrogen tanks can be used for sharing the for giving this for supplying the energy to the fuel cell. So fuel cell can be used as the main energy source, uh, and also supercapacitors can be used. Solar panels can be used. Then actually we already discussed about the onboard charger. So you know what is traction inverter and DC-DC converter and all. So when we are just telling about onboard charger, I told you different technologies are already attached to it. Like onboard charger can be used to deliver the energy to the battery, and also from battery to the grid. Something like different technologies will be there. So that's it. That's the thing actually. In case of onboard charger, yeah, we will discuss about different kinds of technologies after about onboard relating to onboard charger. So that's it. So in case of different kinds of charger, so there are level 1, level 2, and DC fast charging techniques are related to electric vehicle part. So you know what is DC fast charging? Maybe all of you having DC fast charging mobiles in your hand. So that's it actually. It having like a maximum value of power, like a higher value of power, and the battery also capable to charge in such a value of power. So that's actually DC fast charging technique. Because a level 1, level 2 charger, it having when you compare a level 1, level 2 charger, these are the care about it. So just look into the table. So in case of level 1 charger, the value of power will be around 1.44 kilowatt to 1.92 kilowatt, and it will take 17 hours for charging. In case a level 2 charger, it will be around 8 hours, and a level 3 supercharger, it will be around 30 minutes. So when you compare the time and also the power, and you can also compare the current passing through the wires. So here for the level 1 charger, it will be around 12 to 16 ampere. For level 2 charger, it will be around 15 to 80 ampere. The level 3 charger will be around 400 ampere power, 400 ampere current carrying capacity. So that's the difference between three kind of charger there. And in market, different kinds of plugs also available, sockets also available for charging the electric vehicle. Okay, so when we are discussing again about onboard charger, I told you the different kinds of modes like grid to vehicle technology, vehicle to grid technology, vehicle to vehicle technology. So grid to vehicle technology is so grid to vehicle, which means it will be we can just it's like a charging part, like when you are just plugging in our energies, like our plug, like when you connect to charge the battery, we will be using grid to vehicle technology there. Then vehicle to grid, which means we have to supply the energy from our battery to the grid. So just consider when you take an example, like you having a car in your home, so you can energize your home, entire home with your batteries used in the electric vehicle. So whenever if there is no supply in inside a home, we can supply the energy from our electric vehicle batteries. So that's actually vehicle to grid technology. So we have to discuss that actually. We will discuss that. Then vehicle to vehicle, otherwise vehicle to load. So we can share our energy from one worker to another worker. Exactly same like iPhone. What's actually doing inside an iPhone nowadays? So like sharing your energy. So exactly the same thing. So these are the different kinds of technologies associated with the onboard chargers there. And also, in case of DC-DC converter used inside a electric vehicle, there are different kinds of technologies also. Mostly, in case of electric vehicle, power factor corrector rectifiers, power factor correctors, converters, everything will be used to, because of its non like a non like a non-linear property, and also isolated converter also will be used for the safety and resonance dual active bridge kind of converters also will be used there. So that's it. So I think we got the idea about overview about electric vehicle charging part, then discharging part, then traction power delivering part. So these are the different kinds of topologies mostly used in electric vehicle. Flyback, buck converter, push pull, then forward. Yeah, dual active bridge. We will discuss some of the converter after. So we'll start with the basic kinds of converter there. So these are the main uh, kind of converters mostly used in electric vehicle for charging. Okay, anyway, so that's it. I think you got the entire idea about electric vehicle. What are the different things inside a electric vehicle? So let's step into electric machines. So as I told you, because of the cara of electric motor, according to that we had to choose a motor according to the situation handling, whatever the torque delivery, energy delivering criteria. According to that, we have to choose the electric motors there. So in case of electric machine, mostly we will be using permanganate synchronous machines and permanganate separately excited induction motors. So those are used in different companies already. So induction motors, then switch reluctance motor, synchronous reluctance motors, and the BMS is a synchronous reluctance motor. So these are AC motors. So we can also use different kinds of DC motors there, like a BLDC and also normal DC motor can be used for delivering the power. So because of this GARA, we'll be mostly choosing electric worker, mostly choosing permanganate synchronous machine as a driver motor there. Okay, so just go through this. It can deliver, it can have a high power density, and yeah, different kinds of other cara also will be related with the permanganate synchronous machine. So in a short range of time, it can deliver a large amount of torque, and high power density can be high power can be delivered. So that's because of those conditions, we'll be using mostly permanganate synchronous machine. Okay, anyway, so in case of batteries, mostly we will be using lithium-ion battery, lead-acid battery, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride. Okay, so we can step into simulation part now. So we already discussed all of this, like fast charging, wireless charging, everything. Okay, and also there are different researches actually going on in this area, like you are controlling topologies, reducing weight, reducing cost, better packing, better sensing, increasing efficiency, optimization of energy management. So in this areas, actually research is going on. Okay, anyway, so that's it. That's it. So before starting electric vehicle simulation, we have to know something about powertronics part also. So just sharing the screen to know something about powertronics. So after that, we will step into the simulation directly. Okay. So we are not going through the entire part. We only want to discuss what is powertronics. That's it. Uh, Actually, this is the block diagram representing the powertronic system. So there will be powertronic converter part, then input energy source, output will be there. Output will be supplying to the load. Sensors will be placed intermediately. Then a controller will be there. Controlling signals will be there. So I think I don't want to explain these all things. These are the basic things. Just recording your ideas. That's it. Okay. So I just want to know why we are using powertronics technology in case of electrical system. Why we are choosing powertronics technology? Can you give me an answer? What is the significance of powertronics technology in case of electrical system? Can you give me an answer? Where is the significance of powertronics technology in our electrical system? combines electronics and mechanical systems to produce power. No, you can just explain with an example. I can just tell an example. In your surrounding, there are different examples would be there. So why we are using powertronics technology? What is the significance? Actually, for delivering, for transmitting power, for getting some any kind of output. We don't want it. We want to choose powertronics technology. It's not necessary. Controlling ECU, BMS, and power conversion. Yeah, I'm not asking about electric vehicle now. I'm just asking about the entire electrical technology, entire electrical system. Powertronics technology have something. Electronic circuitry for motion control. I told you it is not necessary to have a powertronics circuit for controlling the system. Controlling any kind of system, we don't want to seek the help from a powertronics technology. It is not necessary, but we are using it nowadays. So actually, nowadays when you consider the system like electrical energy system, just take energy system. Years before, we are only utilizing the energy from fossil fuels and also like thermal energy. So those are the main source of electrical energy. Sorry, source of energies. And when you consider the grid, you can see only these energy sources will be attached to it, and there is no other kind of electrical energy sources. But nowadays we can see renewable energy sources has taken its own chair there. So solar energy can be mostly will be used in all kind of different parts, different organizations nowadays, and also wind energy will be used. So different kinds of renewable energy is actually utilizing. So how can you use a solar cell without powertronics? How can you use a like a DFIG or wind energy conversion system without powertronics? Is it possible? Is it possible without the powertronics? Can we use renewable energy sources? Can fill the feedback after. Just tell me this actually. Is it possible? Just give me one reply. Okay, let's continue. So take a solar cell. Okay, having a solar cell in your home. In my home, I having a solar cell. So just take an example, like I'm generating energy from solar cell. So the maximum power, which is which can be which is possible with the solar cell, it's actually around a 2 kilowatt. Consider 2 kilowatt of power. For my home, I'm just using 1 kilowatt of power. Just I am using 1 kilowatt of power. That's the maximum energy I need for any instant. So that's the power I need in a single instant. Okay, so if you are not using the entire power from the solar cell, so the energy generated will be waste, right? So you cannot waste that. So you can store the energy, the remaining energy in your batteries there. But consider a situation the battery is already fully charged. So in that situation, we cannot utilize the entire energy. So what you have to do, there is one solution, and it's already implemented. It's on work. You can share. You can like I told you, you can share your energy from your solar cell to grid. You can share your energy, and according to the value of energy, you will get the you will get the the you will get the energy back when you are not having. Otherwise, you can get your uh, the money from any electricity board or something like that. You can sell your energy. That's it. So that's one of the technology actually being used nowadays. And also in case of wind energy also, uh, powertronics technology should be there for supplying the energy. It is necessary. And why powertronics, we will step into that. So this is the actually concept here about powertronics. So just take we will just explain it with to an example. Just think you are riding a bike. So bike is actually the powertronic converter here. We can relate your bike with the powertronic converter. Otherwise, your motorcycle with the powertronic converter. So motorcycle is the powertronic converter there. Input source of energy will be supplied from the fuel, and the output will be given to the tires, and you are the controller there. So your brain is your controller, and the sensors will be there. We will be having sensors. Eye is actually a sensor. Ear will be your sensor. Okay, so you are riding your bike. I'm just commanding you to ride in a speed in a range of 40 km per hour. So yeah, in a range, which means you should ride in 40 km per hour. That's a thing we need. Okay, so when you are going to ride, actually you will control the motorcycle to maintain the speed 40 km per hour constant. You will struggle for that, right? So how you are controlling, how faster your response, you will be having a smooth output. You will be having a smooth output, which means the bike will be traveling and the motorcycle will be traveling in a constant speed. So according to your response, so you are getting the output. So that's it. Exactly the same thing actually happening in a powertronic system. According to the faster response of the the controller, you will be getting a much more improved output. So for getting a much improved output, you have to use a different controlling techniques. So you may heard about in case of electrical drives. Mostly in electrical vehicle, we will be mostly using. We will be using. Yeah, we will be using FOC techniques, ASUPWM techniques, everything. So FOC, field oriented control, and directed torque control for induction motors. Different kinds of control activities can be used according to the type of machines and all. So that's it. So because of that, we can improve the response of the controller part. So that's a benefit. That's actually the exact thing about powertronic system. That's it. So I just want to know something about switch also. So I told you these are just in introduction to know something about. So you have to recall your idea. That's all. Maybe you will be familiar. You will know this already. Just telling something about this. So just go through this. It will be better for recalling your ideas. Okay. So different kinds of switches will be available in your market. So electronic switch, electrical switch, and also mechanical switch, different kinds of switches will be there. And for faster rate of switching and all, we'll be mostly using power electronic switches like a MOSFET, IGBT, everything, and also normal electronic switch. And also when you're considering mechanical switch, so what is the main difference? I already told you the difference. What's the main difference between mechanical and an electronic switch? What is the main difference between normal mechanical switch? Mechanical switch, which means we can take an example. Relay is actually an electromechanical switch. We can consider that as a mechanical switch. So relay is actually a kind of mechanical switch. Uh, in case of electronic switch, transistors, MOSFET, IGBTs were there. So what is the main difference between uh, both transistors and a relay? It is the main difference. Relay also can be controlled. Transfer like a normal transistor also can be controlled for switching on and switching off. We can control it with the electrical pulse. What is the difference between both? Yeah, whatever. Electronic switch uses AND or NAND gate. Mechanical switch uses physical contact. Physical contact is to supply the energy, right? And we are not using AND or NAND gate for supplying the energy. For controlling the switches, we will be using AND or NAND gates. Okay, I'm just asking. I already told you. Just want to get the feedback from your mouth. That's it. What is the main difference between normal mechanical switch, relay, and a transistor? Just say that there is nothing to lose. Just asking what is the difference between what is the main when you combine mechanical and electronic switch, a transistor and a relay. Why we are using transistor? Why we are using relay? Main difference between a key difference is there, right? Relay and a transistor. I can switch on the transistor by using, if it is a NPN transistor, if we give a positive pulse to the base, positive voltage value to the base, sorry, current value to the base, it will switch on. You know that. So in case of relay, if you excite the coils, it will switch on, right? So there will be something. So both is actually acting like there will be similar things. Like when you give a control signal to the coil or base, it's actually acting. But some difference will be there between both. What is the difference? What is the difference? Okay, I'm just telling you to switch on transistor 1,000 times a second. So if I say that, you can do that, right? But in case of relay, is it possible to do? Is it possible to switch on and switch off your relay 1,000 times a second? Is it possible? Your transistor switch, the relay is mechanical. You already talked about that. The thing is that relay can operate in a slower rate, but the transistor can operate in a faster rate, which means in a faster frequency it can switch on and switch off. But relay it is not possible because it is mechanical switch, right? It have limitations, it have friction, everything will be a limiting part for act of that relay. In case of transistor, it is not a limiting part. We can operate a semiconductor device in a faster rate. So that's the main uh, difference between both the mechanical and electrical switch. Okay, and I'm also asking one of the another question now, like why we are choosing uh, electronic switches in for a, like a for a powertronic system. Consider a DC-DC converter. Have you heard about boost converters? DC-DC converter. Have you heard anything about DC-DC converter? Please respond. Have you heard anything about DC-DC yeah, top chop or whatever? You heard about that, right? Right. So, in case of DC-DC converter, we will be using transistors, MOSFET, IGBT, everything. Why it is? We can use a relay instead of transistor, right? If you give a normal pulse to transistor, it will on. And same like if you give a pulse to a relay, it will get on. But why we are not using fast switching is not possible with the relay? Yeah, right thing. So fast switching. Why we are going for fast switching? What is the significance of fast switching there? Why the time is more important there? Fast switching. Why we are going for fast switching? What is the necessity? In case of powertronics converters, we will be using fast switching. What is the reason? They say something. Why fast switching? For quick response to the demand, like accelerating suddenly. No, that's not the answer. For accelerating suddenly, why we are using fast switching? Reduce losses. No, the relay is also like a switch. When you both compare relay and MOSFET, there is not much difference in losses, energy loss. Loss will be the difference will be there, but there is not much difference. There is something. Some other reasons will be there for using fast switching technology there. Why we are using fast switching technology? Others, 46 members were there to get desired voltage. Desired voltage is also can be we can get it through a relay also. It's not a matter. We can get the desired voltage, can control the voltage by using relay also. Impedance matching. Don't go deep. Just think why we are using faster frequency rates for powertronics during emergency. What kind of emergency? Braking. Where is braking? What kind of braking? I'm not telling about electric vehicle now. Just asking about two switches, mechanical and normal electronic switch. Why we are choosing faster switching rates? Okay, consider. I will tell an example now. You know what is welding machine, right? There it is. Reduce the component size. So that's the reason actually. Reduce the component size. So if you increase the frequency, you can reduce the component size. That's the main reason we can using faster switching rate, faster switching frequency. Uh, so because of that, there are different things already achieved. So when you consider, I will say an example now. I'll tell an example now. What you heard about welding machine? You know what is welding machine, right? So in case of welding machine, actually years before we were used to one kind of welding machine. We have used different welding machines or like a kind of welding machine. So compare the size of the welding machine nowadays we are using and also we have used. So have you seen any kind of welding machine before we have used? Have you seen that welding machine? Any of you? Have you seen any kind of welding machine? Not in our. It has electrode but a burner powered electrically. Not like that. Actually, I'm just asking if you see the welding machine before you have used, it will be having particular value of size. It will be very big. We cannot. It is not portable. We cannot carry that to one place to another. Can be carried, but it having a large amount of weight. And yeah, it's very size also very larger than normal welding machine we are using now. So so that's the main difference. The size difference actually achieved by using powertronics technology. And yeah, how can you make a welding machine? How can you make a simple welding machine? Any of you? How can you make a simple welding machine? Actually, what is a welding machine? To achieve a high heat temperature. Yeah, yeah. Here, there it is. See yeah, like so. That's it. Transformer. With a transformer, we can make a simple welding machine. There are different videos there in YouTube for making simple welding machine there. So for making a welding machine, we can use a simple transformer. Consider 1,000 watt transformer. So what you have to do, you have to make the transformer to a step down transformer by changing the winding values of primary and secondary. We can make a simple welding machine. So at the secondary coil, what we have to do, we had to make a high current carrying capacity coil there. That's only the needed thing for making a simple welding machine. If you short circuit that, the wire should be capable of carrying such a value of current. So that's only the requirement. So that's actually a welding machine. And what is the frequency of a transformer? If you are using a simple transformer as a welding machine, what will be the using frequency there? 50 hertz, right? So 50 hertz. At a 50 hertz, you are operating a transformer as a welding machine now. So at that time, that's a reason because of the size of that welding machine. If you are using 50 watt transformer, we have to use for supplying 1000 watt power. Nowadays and also before all in olden days, actually using the same value of power, but the size actually reduced. It's because of the switching frequency we are using. So before transformer will be used, transformer will be working in 50 hertz frequency. But nowadays it's not around 50 hertz frequency. It will be around kilohertz or megahertz frequency. So because of that, the entire size will be is actually very less now. So that's a reason behind we are using yeah, we are using high speed switches there. Okay, so that's it. That's about the that's about the powertronic part and also electric worker part. I think you got the entire structure about electric worker, and also you got the internal structure about it, like internal structure and also what kind of about powertronic technology also. So we are going to make a simulation right now. We will start the simulation. We will start with the basic charging part, and we'll step into DC converter part, then driver part for motor. So that's it. So I'm sharing my screen. Actually, I'm using 2018B crack version of MATLAB. So you can also download that from the link. Otherwise, I can send you that if you need. Okay. Anyway, so sharing the screen. So here the uh, this is the page we are going to make simulation. You know this already. And here we have the tools. Mostly Simulink and the Simscape components will be used for simulating uh, electrical system. Okay. So let's start with the normal uh, 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 rectifier part. So just need an intro about uh, uh, simulation. So may, maybe some or
Hello.
Để chạy luôn thầy.